So, Stream gestartet. Ich sag schon mal hallo, herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Let's Play Steins Gate, für die, die es im VOD sehen. Mal schauen, ob noch Leute dazukommen, die jetzt quasi das im Livestream mitgucken. Aber ehrlich gesagt, es ist sehr storygetrieben, man muss es nicht zwingend jetzt direkt gucken, aber... Also, beziehungsweise ich versuche durchaus auf Kommentare einzugehen, wenn es mal welche gibt. Ist eher selten der Fall, aber manchmal passiert's. Und ja, ansonsten natürlich auch normale Kommentare unter dem Video. Also es muss nicht alles im Live-Chat stehen, worauf ich antworte. So, wir befinden uns nach wie vor in Kapitel 6. Metaphysics Necrosis. Was ich finde, dass ein sehr schöner Name für dieses Szenario gerade ist. Es ist gerade traurig. Übrigens, vielleicht hört es, ich bin ein kleines bisschen krank, daher weiß ich nicht, ob ich die volle Stunde heute durchziehe. Aber ich dachte, komm, ein bisschen was kannst du machen, gerade ist sonst nicht viel los bei mir im Moment. Zumindest heute. Eigentlich bin ich ziemlich beschäftigt die meiste Zeit, aber naja. Ich nehme mir die Zeit jetzt gerade. Also los geht's. Es ist jetzt, glaube ich, wieder ein Zeitsprung geschehen, genau. A flood of sound beats on my eardrums. When it subsides, I find myself again in the lab. It's just before 5. I have 2.5 hours before Mayuri dies. I find myself staring at the time leap machine. This thing is the reason for Moeka's attack. If only we had never built the phone wave. If only we had never sent those D-mails. Perhaps the future might be different instead of the nightmare it promises now. Would anything change if I broke it? Just smashed it to pieces right here? In a rush of delirium, I grab a chair and lift it high over my head. Just as I'm about to bring it crashing down on this infernal machine, a voice cries out. Stop, Okabe! What are you doing? Kurisu grabs my arm and pulls me back. Are you trying to break the machine? You don't have to break it, Okabe. We already decided not to experiment, remember? Anyway, put the chair down. I lower the chair slowly. Not because Kurisu told me to, but because I realized what would happen if I really did break the machine. It caused, or will cause, Mayuri's death. But at the same time, it is also my only chance of averting that future. If I lose it, I lose my only hope of saving her. The fear of that outcome stayed in my hand. You look pale. What's wrong? Are you listening? I can't deal with this. Not now. Wait! I flee from the lab. I don't have a particular destination in mind. People look at me strangely as I shuffle down the street. I imagine I must look like I crawled up from the grave. Soon I get fed up with the crowd around the station and escape through the pedestrian overpass. I get about halfway across the bridge and squat down on the concrete. The giant screen on the UPX building is advertising some gothic punk band. The ticker at the bottom displays today's weather forecast along with the date and time. I realize that today is Friday the 13th. Is there no way to get through today without Mayuri dying? It's already 5:30. 2 hours until the attack. The lights around Akihabara station turn on one by one as the sun sets. The moe might be gone from Akiba, but the area around the station is still as posh as ever. I don't belong here. The bridge I'm sitting on has become a date spot for couples. I see them standing here and there, gazing at the cityscape with their arms Mist, jetzt habe ich mich da verlesen. With their arms wound around each other. Somehow, they never seem to tire of the dull, unchanging scenery. What am I doing here? Mayuri is about to die. Hey, don't you think you're a little old to be sitting on the ground in public? I lift my head and see Kurisu standing there. So this is where you went. I've been looking for you.
No. Christina.
What? What time is it now? 5:38. Hey, if you have time to sit around, then you can help me with the shopping. Shopping? Oh, right. Preparations for the party. In the original timeline, I went shopping with Kurisu at the UPX supermarket. And then we talked on this bridge, just like now. It feels like so long ago. Back then I had no idea what was about to happen. Well, are you going to come along or not? I sigh deeply. I don't believe that it was wrong to time leap. However, I keep my eyes lowered. That's the first time you've said my name properly. I feel her eyes on me. Help me. I can't save Mayuri alone. I realize that now. Reliving today again and again, only to taste the same despair each time, has taught me one important lesson. Alone, I am powerless. Alone, I have no hope. Help me. Tell me what happened. I know you used the time leap machine. What? I look up in surprise. Kurisu doesn't meet my stare. Instead, she leans on the guardrail and gazes down at the plaza with her usual frown. You get a phone call and suddenly look like a different person. It was obvious. I came from 3 hours in the future. What happened? They killed Mayuri. I lower my head, trying to hold back the tears. Then I explain about CERN and Moeka, and about how Kurisu herself activated the time leap machine and made this possible. I tell her about my previous leaps. I explain that the world itself wants Mayuri dead, that I can't save her no matter how I try. I keep talking for 30 minutes straight. During that time, Kurisu hardly says a word. It's all my fault. Talking to Kurisu lets me sort out everything I've done, everything I've seen. I shouldn't have told Daru to hack CERN. I shouldn't have asked you to build a time machine. I shouldn't have made Moeka a lab ma'am. Mayuri's death is all my fault. That's why I needed to bear the burden myself. I was resolved to do whatever it took to save Mayuri, never faltering, never giving up. And yet, my resolve has already crumbled. If you know that Mayuri is going to die, then what are you doing wasting time here? Kurisu's tone is haughty. Is this how I sound when I'm playing Hou in Kyoma? I just don't get it anymore. What don't you get? How to save Mayuri.
あんたの話を聞いた限りじゃ、時間順序保護仮説は本当だったってことになるのかな。
Based on what you said, I guess the chronology protection conjecture is true.
何をしてもどうやってもMayuriが死んでしまうんだ。
No matter what I do, Mayuri dies.
だからタイムリープを延々と繰り返したか。
And that's why I keep time leaping.
タイムリープマシンは理論上絶対安全だと証明されているわけじゃない。
There's no guarantee that the machine is safe, you know. Kurisu lowers her gaze and cups her chin, as she often does when assessing a problem.
これまでは何事もなく成功してたかもしれないけど、
Even
繰
if
り
the
返し使うことでどんな影響が出るかもわからない。
even if the machine works perfectly, repeated use may have serious side effects.
もしかしたら時間の輪、つまり因果率から外れるかもしれない。
For example, you may become disconnected from causality itself.
あんたはそんな危険を冒してるの。そのことを自覚して。
You need to understand the risks if you're going to continue.
因果率から外れると
Disconnected from causality, meaning?
SF 小説によくあるでしょ。閉じた時間の輪の中で永遠にさまよい続けるってこと。永久に年は取らないけど、永久に同じ日からは出られなくなる。
It happens all the time in sci-fi. You'll become trapped in a closed time loop, never aging, never dying, but doomed to repeat the same day for all eternity.
最悪の場合、なかったことにされる可能性だってある。
Worst case, you may cease to exist entirely. What?
存在の抹消。あんたの18年だか19年だかの人生の痕跡すべてをあらゆる人間が最初から知らなかったことにされるかも。
Every trace of your existence will vanish. Nobody will remember you, because your life will have never happened. Verdammt, ich verlese mich jetzt ausgerechnet an den Stellen wieder.
時間を飛び越えることはそれだけ危険なのよ。
Leaping through time is that dangerous.
人間は根源的に時間的存在者である。
Humans are temporal beings. Kurisu looks surprised.
ハイデガーね。私も今その言葉を言おうと思ってた。
Heidegger. I was thinking of that quote too.
お前から教わった言葉だ。
I heard it from you first.
いつ？
When?
俺はもう何度もタイムリープしている。
This isn't the first time I've leaped.
なるほど。
Right. Of course. Kurisu squats next to me, thinking deeply.
あんたの話が本当だったとして、マユリを助けたい気持ちは私だって同じよ。
If what you said is true, then I want to save Mayuri too.
でも、タイムリープマシン制作に関わった人間の一人として、あれを何度も使うことは勧められない。
But as the co-creator of the time leap machine, I can't recommend its continued use.
あんたはそれでももがく。
Will you listen to my advice?
俺は
I can't do it alone. I know that now.
だからお前に助けを求めたんだ。
I need your help.
もがくために、マユリを助けるために。俺一人じゃダメだったが、クリスの協力があれば何とかできるかもしれない。できると信じたい。
I have to save Mayuri. I can't do it alone, but together we might have a chance. I need to believe that.
力を貸してくれ。
Please, lend me your strength. Kurisu sighs.
無茶しやがって。バカ。
You're such a stubborn fool.
あんた、壊れててもおかしくなかったんだからね。
What you've been through, I'm surprised it hasn't broken you already. Incredibly, she sounds concerned about me. She looks at me for a moment, then turns away as if embarrassed.
協力はする。
I'll help.
マユリは大切な仲間。ラボメンだから。
Mayuri is my friend and fellow lab mem.
それに、あんたのそんな辛そうな姿、見てられない。
And besides, I don't want to see you in such pain.
すまない。
I'm sorry.
謝らないでよ。
Don't apologize.
岡部、前に私の父親のことで相談に乗ってくれたでしょ。
Remember when I told you... Oh,
私、結構救われたんだ。
ich dachte kurz, das hätte danach aufgehört. Entschuldigung. Remember when I told you about my father? You really helped me out back then.
だから、今度は私があんたの力になる。
Now it's my turn to return the favor.
あんたの力になりたい。
I want to be your strength.
それで、一緒に青森まで行ってもらわないと。
Besides, you still have to come with me to Aomori. She smiles a wry but gentle smile, as if I were her mischievous younger brother.
止めたってタイムリープする気なんでしょ。何しろあんたは狂気のマッドサイエンティスト。いつだって独善的に生きてきたんだから。
I know you're going to leap no matter what I say. You are a mad scientist after all, and mad scientists play by their own rules.
ちょっと、そこは無論だ。わっはははみたいに答えなさいよ。
Hey, aren't you supposed to go mwahaha or something?
そうだな。
Yeah.
調子狂うな。
Why do I even try? Kurisu is right. I'll do anything to save Mayuri. Kurisu stands up and looks at her watch.
さて、もうあまり時間もないから、これからあたふたするより、もっとじっくり対策を練った方がいい。
There's not much time. I think you should have a clear plan before trying to change the future again.
つまり
Meaning?
今からもっと前の時間に飛んでおく。
Leap to an even earlier time.
そこで改めて私に事情を説明して。
Then explain the situation to me again. Kurisu's right. My actions so far have been almost entirely random, and look where that's gotten me. I need a real plan if I'm going to save Mayuri.
行こう。
Let's go. Kurisu stretches out her hand. I grasp it and pull myself up. Mayuri and Daru are already back when we return to the lab. Suzuha is there too. To get rid of them, Kurisu and I explained that we forgot to do the shopping, so could they please take care of it for us? I have to cough up the money to convince them to go, but it works.
マユリ本人はともかく、橋田にも話さないの。
I understand why you can't tell Mayuri, but why can't you tell Hashida?
必要になったら話す。
I'll tell him when it's necessary. For now, it's not, and I don't have time to explain. While Kurisu sets up the machine, I head downstairs to the Brown Tube workshop, kick the door open and turn on the 42-inch CRT. That went more smoothly than I anticipated. It's highly illegal, of course, but I'll leap long before the cops get here. Also hat die Tür eingetreten, super. Kurisu looks shocked when I return to the lab.
住居侵入罪で逮捕されるわよ。
They'll throw you in the slammer before breaking and entering?
どうせ過去に戻れば今のはなかったことになる。
In a few seconds it won't have happened. Kurisu hands me the headgear and I put it on.
そっか。あんたの主観じゃそうなるわけだ。
I see. That's how it looks from your perspective.
私の主観だとどうなるんだろう。あんたが飛んだ後、ここはどうなる？
What does it look like from my perspective? What happens here after you leap?
そのデータもすぐに取れる。
You'll know soon enough. My consciousness travels to the past. That I know from experience. Wobei ich dazu sagen muss, wer sagt, dass das das einzige Bewusstsein ist, was dann da ist? Wer sagt, dass es nicht auch eine Linie gibt, also es ist ja nicht viele Weltentheorie in dieser Geschichte, sondern es gibt eigentlich immer eine Sache, auf die es festgelegt ist, auf die das Ganze in ihren Möglichkeiten zusammenschrumpft oder verschoben wird. Aber mit viele Welten-Hypothese wäre es doch möglich, dass quasi nur eine Kopie weitergeschickt wird. Diese Kopie hat natürlich keinen Unterschied zum ursprünglichen Bewusstsein. Folglich gibt es keinen wirklichen Unterschied in dem Sinne. Was bedeuten würde, dass die Kopie, also dass quasi ein Original auch noch zurückbleibt, das gar nicht gesprungen ist. Weil es wird ja gescannt, es wird in Daten umgewandelt, es wird dann geschickt. Aber es ist halt eine Kopie, die vorher beim Scannen entsteht. So was Ähnliches gibt es in Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma mit Sean. Jetzt habe ich, glaube ich, tierisch gespoilert für die, die das nicht gesehen haben. Ach, egal. Da gibt es eine sehr schöne Szene, wo sich dann nachher eine Version fragt, warum bin ich noch hier? Und das ist sehr interessant. But what about the body I leave behind? If time is a straight line, then it's likely that the present will be reconstructed based on my actions in the past. But if the many worlds interpretation holds, then after I leave, this world will continue on as if nothing happened. I used to be so fascinated by the structure of the universe, but now I don't really care. All that matters is saving Mayuri. Kurisu's fingers stopped typing on the keyboard. What's wrong? It's nothing. I was just thinking. Maybe it works like a D-mail. The instant we send a D-mail, the present changes around us. Thanks to reading Steiner, only I remember what it was like before the change. That would make things easier, though I kind of hope you're wrong. Because you can't collect data if you can't record the change? Exactly. Kurisu nods and begins tinkering with the settings again. I set the destination to 5 hours ago. You should arrive around 1:40 p.m. I completed the time leap machine just after 2. Do you remember? Barely. For Kurisu, that happened only 5 hours ago. For me, it feels like weeks. Maybe it has been weeks. Nobody likes a man who can't remember dates. Be thankful that I make a habit of checking the time. I have a pretty good idea what happened when. Kurisu finishes typing and turns to face me. Listen, Okabe. If you're going to keep using the time leap machine, there's one thing you must remember. Don't let go of your phone, ever. It's your lifeline, your destination marker. As long as you keep it with you, you can leap to any time you want. But if you lose your phone, if someone else gets a hold of it, then if I leap to that time, my memories could override theirs. I don't want to imagine what might happen next. If it breaks or the battery dies, then I won't be able to leap to that time. If it breaks, then I can get a new phone with the same number, but there will still be a period of time to which I can never leap. The time leap will fail. Once again, never let go of your phone. Got it. After you leap back to this afternoon, just sit tight and don't do anything until I complete the time leap machine.
これが完成しないと、きっとこの時間までの流れが大きく変わってしまう。
If you accidentally prevent me from completing the machine, it will likely wreak havoc with the timeline.
完成したらすぐに実験はしないって宣言して全員解散させて。
As soon as I finish, declare that we will not experiment, then send everyone home.
それから私に声をかけてくれればいい。未来から来たって言われれば、多分私は信じる。
Ask me to stay. Tell me the truth. If you say you come from the future, I'll probably believe you.
なんでわかる？
How do you know?
私のことは私が一番よく知ってる。
Who knows me better than myself? Kurisu grins faintly and stands up after she's done typing.
そもそも電話レンジを改良してタイムリープマシンを作ったのは私なのだぜ。
Don't forget, it was my mad skills that turned the phone wave into a time leap machine. Mad Skills mit dem guten alten Nerd-Set. Perfekt. Ach, ich liebe das. Also Kurisu ist so herrlich, wie soll man sagen, unterschwellig nerdy. Das gefällt mir einfach. Wo ich sagen muss, mein Lieblingscharakter ist und bleibt Suzuha. Suzuha, ich weiß nicht. Jetzt könnte man mit... Nee, ich mache keine blöden Sprüche. Ich lasse es einfach.
さっきあんたからタイムリープしてきたって言われた時は自分の理論は間違ってなかったって思えた。成功してよかったって思えた。何の疑問もなくね。
When you told me about your time leap, I took it as proof that my theories were right. I was happy it succeeded. I really was. I didn't doubt it was true for a second. I see.
念のためにキーワードを決めておきましょう。
Just to be safe, I should probably give you a passphrase.
私の今一番欲しいものはマイフォークである。
What I want the most right now is my own fork. Das ist wohl einfach, wenn man in Amerika aufgewachsen ist und nicht also und quasi eher Messer und Gabel gewohnt ist als Essstäbchen, nicht ungewöhnlich. What?
あ、いや、別に意味なんてないからな。
It doesn't mean anything, okay?
マイフォークが欲しいのか？
You want your own fork.
マイスプーンはもう持ってるからって、そこに興味持つな。
I already have my own spoon. Wait, that doesn't matter.
はいはい、準備できた。いつでも行ける。
Everything's ready. Now get out of here. I nod and call up the phone wave, name subject to change.
気をつけて。
Be careful and remember,
私はいつだってあんたの味方よ。
I'm always on your side. Kurisu touches my shoulder, then steps away. Und Zeitsprung. 13:44 Uhr, also doch ein kleines bisschen später als erwartet. Also eine Viertelstunde. I lie back on the sofa with my phone in my hand. Needles in my brain. A whining in my ears. These sensations never get any easier to endure. I look at the clock. It's about 1:45. There's a high school baseball game on TV. In about 15 minutes, Kurisu will finish the time leap machine. All it needs are some final adjustments, so there's nothing for me to do but wait. As the pain in my brain subsides, I realize that my head is throbbing. Why? Oh, I remember, right before this I had an argument with Mr. Brown in which he introduced his fist to my skull. Mari is at her sewing machine, working on her costume. Daru is at his computer, collecting moe artwork from the internet. Kurisu is in the development room, upgrading the time leap machine. I sit, motionless, as the minutes tick by. Suddenly, the sound of the sewing machine stops. Ocarine, Ocarine, can you come here? Mari shows me her costume. Die Szene kennen wir eigentlich sogar genauso. can you hold this for me? Spread it out like whoop. Mayushi, say whoop again. Whoop. I got a whoop. Was auch immer das heißt. Also, ich weiß nicht, ob das im Japanischen witziger ist, keine Ahnung. Stop it, perv. I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume up by the sleeves. Okay, thanks. Mayuri looks a little tired. She was working on this costume all night. But then she smiles, brighter than the sun. All done. I said something here, didn't I? What was it? I can't remember. I finished before Christian. We were racing. You win, Mayuri. Congratulations. But I'm finished too. Kurisu finishes connecting the two cords she's holding. Complete. Alright, that's my cue. We're not experimenting. Crap, was that too soon? I just finished and you're already shutting it down? What have been doing these past 3 days? Time leaping presents a host of problems. I want to consider them all carefully. That's an unusually respectable opinion coming from you. Moment, ich sehe hier gerade, zumindest der Stream auf dem Laptop hat gerade irgendwie Probleme. Ist Internet gerade generell wieder... Bitte sag mir, dass das Internet noch funktioniert. Nee. Kilobit pro Sekunde und sowas sieht auf OBS ganz gut aus. Und ja, ich kriege Internetseiten auf dem Rechner geladen. Also das ist einfach nur mal wieder YouTube. Ich lade am besten einfach die Seite mit dem Stream neu. Kein Thema. Problems? I thought it was done. I'll explain later. Everyone's tired, so let's go home. We're not going to have a party to celebrate? We'll do that another day. I managed to convince Daru and Mayuri to leave. I lent Mayuri my phone charger, since we use the same brand of phone. Kurisu tries to go home too, but I quietly keep her back. What? Are you upset? Yeah. Probably because I shot her down right after she finished the time leap machine. She'll feel relieved later, but only after she has time to fully consider its implications. I came from 5 hours in the future. Kurisu spears me with a piercing glare. Is that supposed to be funny? Her narrowed eyes make me believe that looks can kill. Don't glare like that. This isn't right. You're supposed to believe me. What made you think I'd believe something like that?
5時間後のお前が言ったんだぞ。
You told me so! 5 hours from now, okay?
捏造しないで。私が多分信じるみたいな論理性皆無の発言するわけないでしょ。
Don't be ridiculous. I would never make such a baseless projection. I'd like to have a word with future Kurisu. If this is how you're going to be, then you leave me no choice but to quote you word for word.
タイムリープが成功したことを聞かされたお前は何の疑問もなく自分の理論は間違ってなかったって思えた。成功してよかったって思えたとも言った。
When I told you about the time leap, you said about my time leap, you said I took it as proof that my theories were right. I didn't doubt it was true for a second.
そもそも電話レンチを改良してタイムリープマシンを作ったのは私なのだぜ。
Don't forget, it was my mad skills that turned the phone wave into a time leap machine.
私はそんななのだぜみたいな話し方しない。
I don't talk like that.
お前が今一番欲しいものはマイフォークである。
What you want most right now is your own fork. What? Kurisu's face suddenly turns red.
マイスプーンはすでに持っているそうだな。
You already have your own spoon, apparently.
そんなことまで話したのか？恨むぞ、5時間後の私。
She said that? I'm gonna kill myself 5 hours from now. She appears genuinely shocked for some reason, but I'm pretty sure she believes me now.
心の中を覗き見されたような気分よ。しかもよりによって岡部にと。
It feels like someone peeked into my heart, and that someone is Okabe of all people. What does she think I'm going to do?
でも、あんたの言うことは信じて良さそうね。詳しく聞かせて。
But I think I believe you. Tell me the details. I explain everything to Kurisu again. I'm able to organize my thoughts better since this is my second time.
なるほどね。あんたの言うことが事実なら、かなりまずい状況だな。
I see. If what you say is true, then we have a serious problem. There are 5 hours until Mayuri's death. We need to come up with a plan before then.
5時間後の私は時間順序保護仮説かもって言ってたらしいけど、それともちょっと違う気がする。
Future me said that the chronology protection conjecture holds, but I don't think that's quite right.
あの仮説は因果率が狂う恐れがあるから、タイムトラベルの可能性は量子論により否定されるっていうものよ。
That conjecture says that according to quantum theory, time travel is impossible due to the danger of disrupting causality.
でも、タイムリープの場合、タイムパラドックスはそもそも起きない。
But when you time leap, there's no chance of a time paradox occurring. Two of me don't exist at the same time, and I can't bring anything with me to the past. All the changes are the memories stored in my temporal lobe. So at the very least, time leaping can't cause a grandfather paradox. So I was right. The universe itself is censoring me, correcting any changes I try to make.
だとしたら、タイムリープじゃマユリは救えないっていうことになる。何をしたって修正されちゃうんだから。
If that's true, then time leaping can't save Mayuri. Nothing you do will change the result. I can't accept that.
同意するわ。世界の意思説は非現実的すぎる。私は支持したくない。
Neither can I. The world is trying to kill Mayuri? As a scientist, I refuse to believe such nonsense. What about the many worlds interpretation? I just need to observe the world where Mayuri doesn't die.
多世界解釈か。マユリの死に方がいつも違うっていうのは関係あるのかな。
The many worlds interpretation. That might have something to do with how Mayuri's means of death keeps changing.
でも重ね合わせ状態になっているいくつもの可能性世界は相互観測が不可能なのに、あんたはどうして観測できてるの？
But it's supposed to be impossible for parallel worlds to observe each other. Why are you different?
それはこの俺の特殊能力であるリーディングシュタイナーが
Because of my Esper power reading Steiner.
ダメだこいつ。早くなんとかしないと。
This is no time for your Genebio nonsense.
他に説明のしようがない。
There's no other explanation.
特殊能力ってあんたね。もしかしてそれ本気で言ってたのか？
You've mentioned that reading Steiner thing before. Were you actually serious?
ふざけているつもりはないぞ。
Why would I make why would I make up something like that? Our demon experiments proved that I can somehow perceive changes in the timeline when they occur. It's an ability only I seem to possess.
特殊能力だかなんだか知らないけど、そんな不確定的なものを頼る気にはなれない。
I don't know, but I don't want to rely on something that may not even exist.
だいたいどの可能性を観測するかを制御しようがないんだから、多世界解釈だろうがなんだろうが、マユリが死なない可能性に至るのは無理よ。
Anyway, you can't control which possibilities you observe. Even if the many worlds interpretation holds true, it's unreasonable to expect that you'll ever find a world where Mayuri doesn't die.
待て。これでは話が進まないではないか。解釈の話はいいから、俺たちにできることを考えるべきだ。
Wait, we're not getting anywhere. Instead of analyzing what I've done, let's think about what we can do.
タイムリープじゃ結果は変えられない。さっきそう言った。
Time leaping won't change the result. I just said that.
じゃあどうするんだ？
Then what do we do?
落ち着け。
Calm down.
落ち着いていられるか？俺が一体何度マユリの死を目の当たりにしたと思ってるんだ。
How can I calm down? Do you know how many times I've seen Mayuri die?
あいつが無残に血を流して生き絶えていくのを俺は目の前で何度も見ていたんだ。何度も。
Covered in blood, gasping for breath, the light fading from her eyes, again and again and again.
見ていることしかできなかったんだ。
And all I could do was watch. I hear my teeth grinding in my skull. Recalling that despair, that feeling of utter powerlessness, makes me want to lash out at everything within reach.
感情に身を任せてたって何も解決しない。
Getting emotional won't solve anything.
当事者じゃないからそんなに冷静でいられるんだろう。
You're only calm because you weren't there.
そうね。私には5時間後のことはわからない。正直なところ、実感が湧かない。
True. I don't know what happens 5 hours from now. To be honest, it doesn't feel real at all.
でも、あんたの言ってることを信じてないわけじゃない。
But it's not like I don't believe you.
岡部はしっかりしなきゃ。
You have to stay strong, Okabe. Kurisu pats my arm. Her hand is warm and her touch is gentle. How American of her.
悪かった。
Sorry. She's right. Getting emotional won't solve anything. Übrigens, die Sache mit dem wie amerikanisch ist, glaube ich, auf den generellen Körperkontakt bezogen. Das ist eine Sache, die in Japan eher unüblich ist, jemanden zu berühren. Also außer man ist sehr vertraut. I need to calm down. Calm down.
そもそも原因が違うのに必ず同じ結果に至るというのが解せない。
What I don't understand is how the cause can change, but the effect can stay the same.
因果が歪んでいるとしか思えない。
It's like causality itself is broken.
マユリの死の原因は桐生萌香が発砲するじゃなくて、もっとマクロなことなんじゃない？
Maybe Kiryu Moeka shooting her isn't the real cause of her death. Maybe it's something larger and less obvious.
タイムマシンを作ったことか、あるいは セルンにハッキングしたことがバレたことあたりね。
For example, maybe she dies because we invented a time machine, or because CERN discovered our hacking.
その結果としてマユリが死ぬ。そう考えるなら因果は歪んでないって言える。
If that's the cause, then it doesn't really matter how she dies. Causality remains intact.
苗に背中を押されて電車にひかれるのもそれで説明できるのか。
Can that theory explain why Nae pushed her in front of a train?
あ、そっか。
Oh, right.
でも因果率は絶対のルールなのよ。それを否定したら全ての物理学も否定されてしまう。
Anyway, the principle of causality is absolute. Deny that and you deny all of physics. Naja, auf Quantenebene, beziehungsweise auf... Selbst bei Elektronen ist es so, dass wir eigentlich eher mit Wahrscheinlichkeiten als mit wirklicher Kausalität arbeiten. Und je kleiner wir die Partikel betrachten, also je kleinere Partikel wir betrachten, desto weniger scheinen die von Kausalität geleitet zu werden. Sondern da scheinen wirklich Zufallsprozesse, zumindest so weit wie wir es jetzt momentan verstehen, weil wir eben nicht alle Interaktionen kennen. Also momentan sieht es für uns sehr zufällig aus und weniger nach Kausalität. Also ist diese Aussage nicht ganz richtig. There must be a distinct cause for Mayuri's death. So if we figure out what it is, then maybe we can save her. Not necessarily. What do you mean? The problem is when the causal event occurred. If it happened too far in the past, then there's nothing we can do. But I can travel to any time I had a cell phone, can't I? No, it's still theoretical, but I believe that one leap with a time machine has a maximum range of 48 hours. 48 hours? I can only go back 2 days? Why didn't you tell me that before? Before what? I just finished the time leap machine, remember? That's true. Future you didn't say anything about it either. Oh, so that's what you mean. Maybe she just didn't have the chance. So how come I can only leap 48 hours? I don't know. Even I don't understand everything that's going on inside that thing. But you can do consecutive leaps. That is, as long as the time leap machine exists. For example, if the time leap machine remains functional for 10 straight years, you could leap back to this moment 10 years from now. Of course, it would take a total of 1,825 leaps, so I don't recommend it. Still, it's theoretically possible. Then what's the problem? Weren't you listening? I said as long as the time leap machine exists. When was the machine completed?
2010年8月13日の午後2時ぐらい。
Exactly, an hour ago. August 13th, 2010, 2 p.m. or thereabouts.
それ以前には存在していない。
It didn't exist before then.
マシンを使うのは今日の2時以降じゃないと不可能なのよ。
It's impossible to use the machine before 2 p.m. today.
つまり過去方向へは
So what you're saying is count 48 hours back.
8月11日の14時までしか行けないと。
I can't go back farther than 2 p.m. on the 11th? Kurisu nods, her expression grave.
おそらく
Most likely.
改良できないのか。
Can't you improve it?
将来的にできるかもしれないけど、今のこの状況じゃ無理。
Eventually, maybe. But certainly not now.
もっときちんとした設備のあるところでお金をたくさん使ってきちんとしたパーツを使えばなんとかなるかもしれないけど。
I'd need a real laboratory with real equipment. It would be expensive, which means we'd need sponsors.
それをやろうとしてもどうせセルンに潰されると思う。
And if we go looking, I'm pretty sure CERN would crush us.
未来の私かあんたが未だにタイムリープしてきていないという回で証明終了かな。
I'd say that's proven by the fact that neither you... nochmal. I'd say that's proven by the fact that neither you nor I have leapt here from the far future yet. So basically...
結局何もできないということではないか。
we can't do anything?
タイムリープマシンがあっても5時間後にマユリがセルに殺される運命は結局避けられないのかよ。
Even with a time leap machine, we can't stop CERN from killing Mayuri 5 hours from now? At that moment, I hear a sound from outside the window. What? Is it Moeka? Did she overhear us? I dash to the window and look down at the street. It's Suzuha. A bicycle has fallen over and she's scurrying to pick it up. Our eyes meet. Huh? Why does she look so pale? Her lips move slightly. It looks like she's whispering something, but I can't make it out from here. Hey! I call out to Suzuha, but she leaps on her bike and zips away. She's acting strange. I smell a conspiracy. Moeka was a spy. Could Suzuha be the same? It's too dangerous to trust anyone. Suzuha has exhibited suspicious behavior, though not as much as Moeka has. She's openly hostile towards Kurisu, and she was able to take down CERN's hit squad single-handedly. I wonder if this missing father of hers really exists. Could he be the John Titor who's been posting on the internet? What is the meaning of the name Beryl Titor? Instinct tells me that she knows something. I dash out of the lab.
ちょっとどこ行くの?
Hey, where are you going? I know I don't have much chance of catching her on foot, but I have to try. There's something going on here. This is a completely new sequence of events. According to my memories of the future, Suzuha is supposed to remain at the Brown Tube workshop until 6:30 this evening. But when she overheard me talking to Kurisu, she suddenly took off like a bat out of hell. This has to mean something. So, ich würde auch sagen, das ist ein guter Punkt für Schnitt. Dann ist die Stunde nicht hundertprozentig voll, aber ich finde, passt sehr gut. Wir erfahren dann nächstes Mal also ein bisschen was über Suzuha. Boah, meine Nase ist jetzt auch echt die ganze Zeit ätzend. Also die wird immer verschlossener, sage ich mal. Aber okay. Auf jeden Fall, heute war es also eher eine emotionalere Sache. Also wir haben eine Verbündete, der wir vielleicht das noch öfter erklären müssen, was gerade los ist. Suzuha verhält sich seltsam, was auch immer mit ihr jetzt gerade ist. Lasst doch mal Theorien, falls ihr welche habt, in den Kommentaren. Und ja, ansonsten sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet Spaß, das konstruktive Kritik, vielleicht ein Däumchen nach oben da. Und wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge von Let's Play Steins Gate. Bis dahin, Cheerio!